Crying emojis in the chat. Oh my lord. Man, it's been a long time since Doody had some crying emojis in the chat for the daily rap, but I think it's appropriate. That's right. Our boy Phil had a rough night. Oh my. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you haven't been keeping up the vortex. I'll definitely make sure to pin my video from last night, but last night was just glorious. Glorious. And shout out to PPP for holding Pig Roach feet to the fire. That's right, man. You guys gotta watch it. And you know what, you don't want to watch it, Doody will be streaming today at 9 o'clock extra early, because we got to get into it. We got to talk about it because it was just glorious. It was great. Trust Doody when I say it's something you don't want to miss. It was great. Anyway, yeah, let's look at the daily rap, see what Phil had to say. By the way, it's a short one, thank God, but I decided to skip all the filler. And let's just go to the main part where Phil just sounds like he lost his best friend or his puppy passed away. So let's get into it.
Now, tonight was the return of SmarkGuys over on DSP React and, of course, on my Kick channel. And, sadly, technical difficulties, but for once it wasn't me. It was actually PPP. He was having tons of technical problems. You know, he'd just come back from a vacation, and he goes to do his setup, and all these things were going wrong. So the show didn't start until about maybe roughly a half an hour later than it should have, okay? Which sucks, because we have a time frame that we try to time out the show, and we were starting late. We started off talking about wrestling, large segment about wrestling, probably about just under 2 hours, talking about Elimination Chamber, talking about Raw, and we unboxed several packs of the Topps Chrome cards, so you're going to want to check that out. And then there was another hour segment at the end, the Grill Phil segment, which...
Alrighty, I have to stop it there, folks. Sorry, but if you watch my content, I have a video out there where apparently PPP yet again insulted SoulMaid during the packet reveal. So they hit the 150 go, I believe. He opened up a pack that had 4 cards. One of them was this very large women wrestler, and apparently PPP decided to insult Cat again by insinuating that Cat is a bigly woman. That's right. And did Phil do anything? Nope. No, he didn't. He decided to be a little cuck and kind of ignore it and keep going on with what he's doing. But yeah, there you go. It just clearly shows that, you know, it's perfectly fine for certain people to mistreat his wife or anyone associated with him. It's perfectly fine. They can do whatever they want because, of course, they're just razzing Phil. But anyone else, of course, should be sent to prison. Good Lord, Phil, come on. Have a little bit more self-respect for yourself. Like, there's no reason why you can't push back on PPP and stop the show and say, we talked about this before, bro. I told you not to talk about my wife. Don't make jokes about her. I don't appreciate it. And then move on from there. Trust me, he would have kept on going. It would have been perfectly fine. And knowing PPP, he probably would apologize and kept going because he wanted to continue the show. But no, not Phil. Nope. Had to be a straight up cuck. Anyway, let's keep going.
Went pretty well as well. I know many of you might or might not care about that segment. If you are interested in that segment, obviously you're welcome to check it out. We put it at the end of the show on purpose. Some insightful stuff there. We actually talked a lot about our last, 8-9 months of working together and how stuff has gone and stuff like that. And it was a pretty good back and forth. And check it out if you're interested in that, okay? So that show is live and archived over on DSP Reacts, but it went ultra late because of the tech issues, which really sucked. Obviously, that wasn't intentional. I wanted to be done on their time, and it didn't happen. Got to work on getting done on time because, I want to spend time with my wife, and this was a case where it actually wasn't me that was the problem. So I got to fix that, right? Hopefully that will not happen again. But the show is great. Check it out. It's archived. We made we actually hit our $500 goal and everything on the show, which was amazing. Like, it was a really well done show, and everyone really enjoyed it. Okay, tomorrow.
Man, that was quick there, Phil. Man, you wanted to jump off that topic quickly. Now, let me recap for people that don't speak Pignosis. So what Phil's trying to say here is, well, first of all, he talked about how the Grill Phil segment was at the end of it. And you like how he said, for those that are interested in that, I know many people don't care about that. Trust me, folks. Trust me, whether you're a supporter of Phil or not, or detractor, you're going to want to catch that segment. It is essentially an hour long of PPP grilling the shit out of Phil. Like, you would have thought it was Doody up there grilling him about Lexi, about his hypocrisy, about how he mistreats women, his incel manifesto. It had it all. It seemed like PPP was watching the events unfold in the last 2 weeks, and he was just taking notes, and he was angry, and he decided he wanted to confront Phil for his many, many lies. Oh, let's not forget Iron Chef Sakai. It was just one thing after another. He did a great job of pushing Phil. Like, he didn't, like, normally when PPP will ask him a question, you know, and Phil, you could tell that he doesn't want to answer it, or he's trying to, like, just obfuscate the question, like, move on. He'll normally go, all right, Phil, okay, no. Not last night. Nope. PPP was not having it, because as soon as Phil gave him some lame-ass excuse for why he did something or said something, PPP countered him with more factual observations. And Phil had nowhere to go. He ended up essentially saying, it's my house is my rules. That's it. When it came to Iron Chef Sakai, when it came to, you know, PPP even brought up the fact, right, that Phil lied. He lied about not knowing who Lexi was, not seeing her content, but yet saying, oh, all she does is squats and she's an ethot and she strips for money on her streams, right? And of course, PPP called them out on it and said, wait a minute, you said you didn't watch any of her content, which Phil said, yeah, that's correct, I didn't watch any. Then he says, well, how do you know what she's doing? Oh, it's from what people have said. So he called them out and said, wait a minute, Phil. You go off because detractors, right? Because people go and watch detractor content, which are highly critical of you, and you get upset because they didn't, whoever's watching it didn't go to the source or double check it or whatever. Why are you being a hypocrite? Why are you listening to people, you know, say shit about it? And he called her. He said, look, bro, I went out and I watched her content, and everything you said about her is false. And he defended Lexi. He basically just said, look, she didn't know what she was doing. She was memeing to have fun. Yeah, she did the zoo trip. Yeah, she cooked. Yeah, she did Legos. But she was doing it out of fun. She wasn't doing it out of spite. And PPP was 100% correct. I got to give him credit. It was probably the best Grow Phil segment out there. And it made watching that dreck of a show. It did. I mean, the last 45 minutes were great. And of course, the part where PPP decides to sneak diss Kat and essentially call her a big fat woman was just great. And of course, the best part of it is Phil's reaction, because we all know that Phil tried to sweep for PPP and claim, well, he apologized, he's not going to do it again, he felt bad. And lo and behold, the next episode where they talk, he does it again. He sneaks diss her. And did Phil say anything? No, he just put his tail between his legs and just walked away, because of course the most important thing in his life is money. And he knew that if he called PPP out, if he yelled at him or whatever, that PPP might leave, and then of course the show would be over and he wouldn't get that sweet money that he was expecting. Man, this guy, man, anything for $1. I've told you before, he's the type of person that would probably sell his mother's bra if it brought him in some cash. I mean, that's how just despicable the guy is. He is. I mean, it's a factual statement, and if it's a factual statement, Phil, you can't get mad, right? Right? As you like to say. So anyway, yeah, Doody's gonna stream today. I'm actually gonna hop on early because I got a lot to say. It's gonna be a great show. I just wanted to tease this out, and of course, Doody normally does the daily rap. And yeah, you have him here coping and seething. Today should be great. Oh God, I want to hear him talk about SmarkGuys on his podcast today, and I want to see if he addresses the many issues like PPP calling his wife essentially obese again, and making fun of her when he apologized, and essentially, according to Phil, he's never going to do it again. And yet here we have him doing it again. Man, it was great. It was just a great show, folks. And if you don't want to watch Phil, please don't. You can watch Raw Phil. Raw Phil actually has a timestamp on his channel. Or you can watch, I think I put out 2 clips. The Fat Cat Sneak This. And then the 45-minute segment where just PPP lays into him. Like, the one thing I want to credit is PPP, what he managed to do in that 45 minutes was, well, first of all, I think he finally recognized why people have such a disdain for Phil, like his lying and his, he's always changing his story and how he can never be wrong. I think PPP was very frustrated with Phil last night. Like, after that 45 minutes of him just bringing up lame ass excuses, PPP was just like, okay, I'm taking off the fucking gloves. I'm not gonna obfuscate. I'm not gonna make a joke about it. I'm gonna grill you on this. And he did. And you could see the frustration in his face. He was just like, God, you're a fucking liar, bro. Why do you have to be such a scumbag? And I think PPP is upset because PPP feels like he's coming to Phil. Yeah, we're making content. Yeah, we're kind of razzing you, but I'm trying to help you. I'm literally trying to give you a lifeline and help you do better. And PPP said it at the end. He said, look, man, I know this might come off, harsh or whatever, but I'm coming to you out of love. Like, he was like, I'm coming to you out as a friend. Like, I'm literally trying to help you. And you refuse to accept. You refuse to acknowledge when you do something wrong, And by the end of it, you could just tell he just wanted to leave. Like, he was he felt like most detractors feel after they hear a rant for Phil, hear one of those 20-minute, 30-minute rants, and they just throw up their hands and they say, this guy's just he's like unredeemable kind of thing. And you just want to throw your hands up and just walk away. That's the look that PPP had. And you could tell he just wanted to get off as quickly as possible because he wanted to yell at Phil. He wanted to call him out and he wanted to say what detractors want to say to him. But he knows that if he did that, it would upset Phil, and he probably wouldn't have another chance in a later future episode to grill him some more. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget Doody streaming at 9:15. Come hang out. We're going to have a lot of fun. Peace out.